TGIF, everybody. Thanks so much for starting it off here on Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale, and that is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Hi, guys. How are we this morning?
Good morning, Jen. How are you?
Would you believe it now looks like your Lakers just might have to deal with those Seagulls, Jen's Pelicans?
Yeah.
In a play-in game?
All you got to do is throw some bread up.
Really?
Yeah, they just
And
throw some
they'll
bread.
just
They gobble up and just take off.
Really? That's it? They'll just fly right back out over the ocean?
Go right back to New Orleans.
Really?
Yes.
Really? I think there could be some beignets bet on this one.
Yeah. Huh? Hopefully they won't take as long as the last one to get here.
I think you still owe me some Club Shay Shay treats too, Shannon.
Okay.
Somebody's calling somebody out.
True.
Yeah.
So we got
Pelicans
fly back to New Orleans with that W. I want my Club Shay Shay treats.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you covered, Jed.
Let's jump in, guys. This Western Conference, right, it is so much fun to watch. It changes daily, nightly. Lakers now 8.5-point home favorites against the Suns tonight. That is according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. A win tonight would clinch a play-in spot for LeBron and LA. And of course, the Pelicans have already clinched a play-in spot. Skip, from what you now know, what will happen to LeBron and the Lakers?
Mr. Sharp.
Yep.
This morning, I have very good news and not so good news, as in bad news for you.
Okay.
First up, the good news.
Give me the good news first.
It was a crazy night and a crazy morning in the National Basketball Association because, good news first, you will easily beat Phoenix tonight at the Crypt because last night at Phoenix,
they struggle.
Would you believe the Phoenix Suns played the second team of the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah.
Because they rested all five starters. Some were hurt, some were sick, some were just resting.
Right.
But would you believe that in that game, Kevin Durant wound up playing 41 minutes? Would you believe in that game, Chris Paul played 38 minutes? Would you believe in that game, Devin Booker played 38 minutes? It took all 41, 38, and 38 for them to get by the second team and the third team of the Denver Nuggets. But my point to you is, I did not see that coming because when I saw as the game started, wait a second, Denver's playing nobody?
Right.
I thought, well, maybe Phoenix will play nobody and save everybody for you tonight.
Right.
Not the case. I thought Phoenix looked really good down the stretch, but it took every bit of Phoenix looking really good down the stretch for them to win, to go now 8-0 with Kevin Durant as a Phoenix Sun.
KD and Chris Paul had to be at their absolute best down the stretch.
Absolute best, and they were. I liked what I saw. We will get to that in a few minutes here on the show because I still think Phoenix is going to be the team to beat, not just in the West, but in the whole thing.
Okay.
That's just me, but we'll get to that. But my point is, after the game, obviously, Monty Williams has asked about, well, wait a second, you got to play back-to-back tomorrow night in Los Angeles. What are you going to do? And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, effectively, he said, we may play our starters for a half, if that.
Right.
If that. It may not be right to play them even for a half.
I definitely don't see KD playing 41 minutes and just coming back only as like, this would be his
41 minutes? Are you kidding me?
That's a lot of minutes.
And what have you said from the start? When the little bombshell dropped when we were at the Super Bowl in Phoenix, you immediately, I announced to the Phoenix-based crowd, I think you guys just won the NBA championship. And you immediately piped up and said, timeout. They all have deep injury histories.
Yes.
All of them do. Devin Booker with his hamstrings, Chris with God knows what. It's been this, that, and the other. And KD's now coming off the freakiest injury I've ever seen. And he's had his injury issues.
Right.
Okay, so my point is, a game that I thought was dicey for you to win as you battle for your playoff lives as opposed to being in the play-in, you will now win easily. I believe you will also close out the season, the regular season, very easily against Utah at home. But you will not rise into the 6th seed, and you will be in the play-in because I didn't see this coming at all until this morning. I looked at the point spread for Golden State at Sacramento, and I'm like, what? Because we have been talking all week about, well, Golden State's 9-30 on the road. They can't win on the road.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, there's no way they're going to win at Sacramento unless Sacramento doesn't play anybody. Well, the odds makers are screaming at you. They're not going to play anybody.
Yeah.
They're all listed as questionable.
Mike Brown did that. Hey, Steve, I got you.
Okay, well, maybe. You know what? You could be right about that, because all of a sudden, Golden State is a 6.5-point favorite on the road at Sacramento, the hottest young team in all of basketball, a team we both like a lot, starting with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. Okay, and the point is, at equal strength at Sacramento. If we go back a month ago, what would the point spread have been? Trust me, Sacramento
Kings would be favored.
Yes, trust me, they would be favored by 2, 3, 4 points.
Yeah, at least
somewhere,
I would say at least
right?
3 points. Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
So it looks like that's game over for you, because I thought that was the game that you would get back from Golden State.
We talked about it yesterday. Said, Skip, we beat Phoenix, and now all of a sudden Sacramento take care of Golden State, because all we needed them to do was lose one of their final 2 games. We win both, and we get 6th seed. Okay, and then they have to go take care of business on the road again on Sunday at Portland. Right. Well, Portland's down 4 of their 5 starters. They are still game. They will still fight for Chauncey Billups. They will compete with you. But help me out, Mr. Sharp. If you tell Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Kevon Looney and name them, Jordan Poole, if you tell all those guys, all you have to do is beat Portland and you get a week off. You get the 6th seed, which is the first seed out of the play-in. What do you think's going to happen on Sunday? Well, they're going to say, what they're going to do is take care of business tonight, because they're going to. Steve Kerr says, look, we're playing their backups. One game, you win this game. You win this game, Skip. They're not even playing against Portland, because it doesn't matter. Okay, all right. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah. Well, depending, you still have to win. No, wouldn't you have to still win out to keep the Lakers at bay? If the Lakers win out. Yes. Yes, you do. Yes. No, I mean, you'd have to close your deal. Yes. But tonight is the night. This is the one you and I have been fixated on all week. And now it looks like it's a gimme. Yes. I mean, are any of these games a gimme? You not for the Lakers. Okay. Well, not for anybody, and maybe not for Golden State on the road. But I'm assuming, I'm going to presume that Golden State is now going to win out. Right. I think you will win out fairly easily, but you're still. Let's just play just in case and see what happens. Okay. All right. I got you. But it's still looking more and more like your Clippers game was the game. Right. It was the one you had to win. Right. And LeBron shocked me with the worst half of basketball he's ever played, followed by, this doesn't make any sense to me, I think, under the circumstances, the greatest half of basketball he's ever played. He went from 3 points in the first half to 30 in the second half. And it wasn't enough. Even that wasn't enough, because the Clippers see Lakers and they just, they go berserk because they love to beat the team upstairs. Right. And I think they just cost you. You're going to look back by Sunday evening and say, the Clippers cost us the playoffs versus the play-in, right? Well, I think the thing is, Skip, if you go back and look at it, you had the game in Philly in hand. You had the Boston game in hand. Okay. You have several Boston games in hand. AD missed a free throw a couple of nights ago, and that would have won the game. They ended up losing that. And the 17-point lead you had against Indy. Skip, I hate to say it, just came down to one game, because it doesn't. Because the Lakers
I'll buy that.
The Lakers failed to take care of business on several occasions, and so then now the Clipper game doesn't even matter. Not to say it doesn't matter, Skip, but we're not looking about it with the pinpoint accuracy. It's like, okay, that was the game. Okay, no. As the circumstances fell, that was the game. Yes. But to your point, I agree. Sometimes it was LeBron to blame. Sometimes it was very much Anthony Davis to blame. But I had 15 times going back in time this year. Right. LeBron had an interesting statement after the game the other night. He said, it feels like we played 4 or 5 different seasons. Right. Well, it has, because he passed Kareem, and that felt like a season unto itself. Okay. That season started December 30th on the night of LeBron's birthday at Atlanta, wife, mother in the front row, when he started going crazy as he did. Right. So they passed Kareem. He passes Kareem. And then it's like another season starts after that. But if you look back to early season, you say, like the Indiana game, what was it, 15 points? You're up 15 early in the fourth quarter, and you can't get that home. Right. And Indiana is not going to make the play. They're not making anything. They fell completely apart. Because now they don't play anybody. All right. So now it is looking probable to me. It is looking extremely possible to me that you're going to be the 7 seed. Yeah. So what happens is, remember, if you were the 7 or the 8 seed, you get
2 shots to make the playoffs because you get a first shot versus the 8 seed. So it's 7-8. And right now, as it stands, this could change, but right now it is, as you call them, the Seagulls.
Yes.
That would mean that you got New Orleans coming to LA probably next Wednesday night to play a game in which the winner will advance into the 7 seed. They will be the locked-in 7 seed.
Play the Grizz.
And if you do that, you would play Memphis, okay? If you lose that game, you get a mulligan. You get a second chance because you're the 7 seed. And 9-10 are going to play, I think, on Tuesday, if that's how they're going to do the schedule. So it would be 9-10 would be, as we speak, Minnesota, Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City had a nice win at Utah last night. They won handily against a dangerous Utah team. And all of a sudden, they maintained their little minor, half-game lead over Dallas. Is that going to hold up? I don't know. It's looking like Oklahoma City, well, it's going to boil down to this. Speaking of Memphis at Oklahoma City on Sunday. If Oklahoma City wins that game, they are going to be the final team in the back door of the playoffs, right? Will Memphis play any or all? I doubt it, but you don't know for sure. So my point is this. You're going to have to deal, it looks like, with the New Orleans team. Do I have to remind you what happened late in the year last year? Do you remember April Fool's night it was? It was April 1st of last year. Here came New Orleans, and as it shook out for all the wrong reasons, you needed to win that game at home to slip into the back door of the playoffs or play-in, right? And what happened in that game? You lost 114 to 111. Do you remember this? It was not a pretty sight. You lost the fourth quarter 28 to 24. And even though LeBron had big numbers by the end of the game, he had 38, not the rest of it, but he scored 38. He had 8 and 4 the rest of the way. He did have 6 turnovers in that game. But in the fourth quarter, he scored a grand total of 2 points. He went 1 of 4 from the floor and 0 of 1 from 3 and didn't get to the free throw line. Not LeBron James. And because of that, they won the fourth quarter. And CJ had a big game. He had 32. And Brandon Ingram, who loves to stick it to the Lakers because he was a Laker, obviously, he had 29 in that game. They're another team that enjoys playing you guys. They enjoy playing you guys at you guys. And speaking of that, I also remind you of this. If Oklahoma City did manage to advance and you lost to the Pelicans, Oklahoma City is still hanging on to the fact that, remember what happened on Passing Kareem night? You were there. It was the Thunder. Remember, Anthony Davis was furious after the game, and he said he did not participate in the celebration of Passing Kareem because we were losing to the Thunder. Remember that? You lost 133 to 130. You gave up 133 to the Thunder, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had 30 points that night. And
they couldn't miss from 3.
They couldn't miss. They made 17 of 34, so they made 50% of their
Mike Muscala couldn't miss.
He couldn't miss.
And now he can't make a basket no matter where he goes.
Okay, there you go. So the point is, I think we can now assume that you're going to have to deal with New Orleans. New Orleans keeps making noise about Zion coming back. It feels like, it smells like, it seems like he might try to play. Well, how effective could he be in the first game back against you guys? Would it be a boost or a new shot, shot of adrenaline for the team? It might be.
Yeah, New Orleans is dangerous, Skip. I just watched them the other night. They had 3 guys score at least 30 points. Happened, and somebody else had another team. Another team had.
Before you continue, they have won 8 of their last 10. They've won 3 of their last 4. They are starting to refigure it out. Go ahead.
B.I. is B.I. CJ is tripped. And now you got Murphy and you got Herb Jones making plays. Alvarado hasn't come back yet. They still got a big guy that can bang the boards in Valanciunas.
He can.
But you remember last time, AD destroyed it.
He did.
And so they're going to need that from AD. LeBron's going to be LeBron. But AD needs to be AD. We can't get the AD that we got against the Clippers. We can't get the AD that we got against the Toronto, even though they won against the Raptors. 8-9 ain't going to cut it. 17 and 11 is not going to cut it. AD needs to be dominant. And so, Skip, I agree with you. It's looking more and more likely they're going to be the 7th seed. They're going to have to play the Pelicans for the opportunity to be the 7th seed in the playoffs and play the Grizzlies. We know there's no love lost between these two teams. They've always been a lot of chirping. They've always had a lot to say, be it in Memphis or at the Crib. So it doesn't matter where they play. The Grizzlies going to have a lot to say. They feel very good. They say, we're young, we're athletic, we can get up and down. we can wear you down with our depth.
And obviously they will have the first 2 games
in Memphis.
Okay.
And like you said, the Kings are listing all their starters as questionable.
Questionable? Aha.
It's questionable whether or not they're going to even show up at the arena.
All right.
That's the question.
Your gut feeling, LA versus Memphis first round, if that happens in fact?
I think it's going 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would have to mean that you have to win there.
Yeah, we go get one. We'll get one. We might take them in 6.
Okay. I'm going to give you the edge in that series just on sheer experience, just on sheer playoff savvy.
Is Steven Adams coming back?
I don't know.
Is Big Adams
well, they've been playing pretty well without him.
Right. Jaron Jackson's been playing out of his mind.
That's why.
He's been playing out of his mind. He's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. And he's starting to assert himself on the offensive end, especially in games in which Ja doesn't play. Now, he doesn't get the same opportunities when Ja's in the ball game because Ja's going to have the ball in his hand. But he and Ja are tremendous in the pick and roll, and the pick and roll has always been the Achilles heel of the Lakers.
It has.
And the Memphis Grizzlies offense is really predicated on the pick and roll. So it's not going to be easy. They got a young athletic backcourt with Ja and Bane. You know, Dylan Brooks is going to be Dylan Brooks. He's going to try to get up under guys' skin. He likes the matchup. He feels that he's a LeBron neutralizer.
He does.
So I like where the Lakers are. Sure, I would have loved to see them had these last 2 games mean that they could still, and they still could. Like you say, Skip, anything can happen. Golden State could lose one of these finals 2 games. It doesn't seem likely, but it's possible. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, they are a terrible road team. There's no other way to put that. 9-30 says they're terrible on the road. Now, they do get a reprieve, and one team lists their starters as questionable, and the other team, all 5 of their starters, hadn't played in a long, long time. So with that being said, I say the Lakers look like they're going to be in the play. They're going to be the 7th seed, play the Pelicans, and we'll see what happens. But the Pelicans are playing really well. B.I. on any given night can go get your mid-30s. C.J. is a guy that can get you 30. Murphy III can let the 3-ball go. Herb Jones played really well. He finally got 30. I think it's his first 30-point game of his NBA career. So it'll be.
Can Herb Jones defend LeBron incredibly? Yes, he can. No, he can bother LeBron.
We got something for Herb.
Okay. Well, you better.
Herb. Okay. We got something for you, Herb.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got some herbs?
Yeah, we got something for you. Go. The playoffs? Didn't he say that's what he wanted?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
I don't think he wanted to play in.
We don't want it. Play in.
Is beneath his dignity.
It ain't beneath nothing.
Okay.
Skip, this is what we are.
Yeah.
This is what you got to eat. My grandma say you either eat this or do without.
I know.
So either you play in or you don't go home.
And in this case, you bought your own groceries.
Yes.
You did, and they're sitting right there on the table. You better eat them.
You
okay? Well, 6.
3 and 6.
I don't know about 3, but 6, I'll give you 6. Okay, here's my takeaway from all this.
Okay.
I will give you in 6 over Memphis. I will give you that. The one that sticks in the back of my mind where the bells are going off,
right.
The one when I first heard about it, when it first dawned on me early this morning, wait a second, they're going to have to play the Pelicans?
Yeah.
That's the danger game. I say that's more dangerous than you versus Memphis. You'll be able to beat Memphis on just sheer star power and experience, okay? But can you beat the Pelicans in a one? It's not do or die because you get a reprieve. Yeah.
So hold on. So that means we got tonight, we got Sunday, and then we play again on Wednesday. 2 days off?
Mm-hmm.
Go for 40.
Okay.
Go for 40. 2 days off?
Okay.
You know what that man do with 2 days rest?
I just think New Orleans just might have your number in a game like this.
We gave it to them. We want them to call. That's why you think we gave them our number. We wanted them to call. Remember what we did to them last time?
Yeah.
Hey.
Brandon Ingram is still trying to wreak revenge over getting traded to New Orleans for AD, right?
B.I. needed to be have his own team.
Yeah.
He was never going to be what we see with LeBron. AD is a better fit than B.I.
Okay.
For LeBron. And that's okay. And he's proven it. Skip, he's been an all-star.
Yeah.
Had he not gotten injured, he might have been another all-star this year.
Yeah.
B.I. got nothing bad to say about B.I., but he's going to catch this L. He's going to catch this L on Wednesday.
Okay. I just have a gut feeling that you're also going to have to play on, I believe it would be Friday.
We're not.
To get the, what seed would that be? The 8th seed, right?
And play the
yeah.
Nugs. You want to put some dew on that?
On New Orleans game?
On the New Orleans game.
I just might. I need to get there. But I am leaning heavily in that direction.
Well, we're about to straighten you up.
There.
You leaning, we're going to straighten you right on back up. Yeah, watch how you sit back up real quick.
I've actually got a lot of dew to play with, so I just might risk a couple on that game.
I get it back.
Yeah.
You should give me all the dew that you took in from me in this basketball season. You should have given it back for that stinking performance that Joel Embiid and your 76ers had last night against Jimmy Butler and the Butlerettes.
After Joel Embiid won me 4 cases
You should give it back. You should give it back.
52 against Boston?
You should give it back.
Woo.
Did you see what they did to him last night?
Woo. He was good last night.
He was good.
Huh?
Skip, you lost by 30.
Huh. What did he make? He made like, what was it, 11 out of 15 shots? I thought he was really good last night.
And they lost by 30. Okay. He needed to make 20. He needed to have another 25 or 30.
They had no motivation. Miami had all the motivation because they're trying to do what your team is trying to do, which is avoid the play-in.
I tell you what, all I know is Jimmy Butler, every time he faced the Sixers, he say, y'all kept Ben Simmons over me.
Yeah, and that's B.I. versus you on Wednesday night at the Crypt. That's exactly what he's going to say.
But Skip, hold on. At least you can say, well, you got Anthony Davis, who's been an all-NBA player, who's won a championship.
Yeah.
That's a lot different than saying y'all kept Ben Simmons, who's since been traded, and I'm not so sure how much the Nets want to keep him.
I don't even know what his future is in the NBA, okay? You got it.
We got something for him.
But
I might have to check that game.
I'm afraid Jen's Seagulls got something for you.
Nah. But you know, when I show up in attendance, we win.
Oh, so you'll be there Wednesday
Hey, don't
night?
tell it. Hey, you never know. You never know who you're going to see.
Yeah.
Skip, you are the man. You've never sounded more intelligent. You just come on over here. I've got a warm front row seat to the Pelicans with beignets. Everything's set out for you.
Don't let me see you at the game, Jen. You better not be at that game.
She will be at the game.
I'm coming. And I will be doing a post-game victory interview with B.I.
No, you won't. Nope. That ain't happening.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, let's move on. Let's talk about another Louisiana team, the LSU women's basketball squad. You think we're going to see him at the White House after all? And then you two started to talk about Joel Embiid, that big loss last night. How does it affect his MVP chances? Let's discuss in just a moment.
It is exciting times at Fox Sports as our team has picked up 2 Webby Award nominations for all of the hard work that was done during the FIFA World Cup over there in Qatar. You need to visit vote.webbyawards.com to support World Cup Now, nominated for the Best Social Content Series, and our World Cup Hub on the Fox Sports app, nominated under Best Mobile User Experience. The voting period is open from now until Thursday, April 20th. Again, please visit vote.webbyawards.com and find our nominations under Best Social Content Series and Best Mobile User Experience.
And I won't back down.
Yesterday, an LSU spokesperson announced, yes, indeed, the national champion women's basketball team will visit the White House. Now this morning, Angel Reese says she's planning to join her teammates on the visit. Earlier in the week, Reese suggested the team should skip the White House trip and instead visit the Obamas. Skip, I want to start with you on this one. What do these latest developments tell you?
Shannon Sharp, I have mixed emotions about what just transpired. As I've told you all week, I believe in the stance that Angel Reese took. My emotions are mixed because I was a little surprised, maybe a whole lot surprised, that LSU announced yesterday, we will go to the White House. That came from on high. That went to the president's office. Yes. That went to the Board of Regents, and they all said, you know what? That's enough. And you can make a case that Angel got a little too carried away with her new IG following. I think it went up over 1 million. John Morant went out of his way to go to Baton Rouge and visit her.
Right.
She's been on kind of a national media tour. But I still believe in her stance. And I do believe in her right to choose not to go to the White House in and of herself.
Right. Yes.
But I think she just got left on an island in and of herself.
Correct.
And I'm pretty sure that from the president on down, they sent the message to Kim Mulkey and the assistant coaches. We need all of you to do your homework, do your research. We need to know what every member of the team is thinking about this. And I think the feedback was from the team, yeah, we would like to go.
Yeah.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I don't know, maybe they'll win it next year and get to go back.
Right.
Angel's going to be back for another year.
Right.
As is Caitlin Clark at Iowa. Maybe
Right.
they'll meet again for the championship.
Right.
I'd be watching. You'd be watching.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the point is, when LSU said, we are going, then all of a sudden everybody had to fall in line behind that. And to Angel's credit, and I think this is where you were heading yesterday, it's time to let it go. And today she let it go because her quotes this morning, I think they were on ESPN on SportsCenter. She said, I know my team probably wants to go for sure. That's like a kind of a double negative there. They do want to go. And my coaches, and they're all supportive of that. So I'm going to do what's best for the team. And if they would like to go and we decide we're going to go, then we are going to go. But it was just tough just seeing that in the beginning, what happened to her, thanks to the First Lady. But I think we'll all come together, and I think it will be good. Okay, in that way, good for Angel.
Right.
Good for the team. Let's sort of forgive and forget. Let bygones be bygones. You made your case. They didn't apologize for the First Lady's case that she was making, but they just clarified, they amended, they omitted Iowa from the next statement by saying LSU is invited to come.
Well, that
to
was
the
the apology. I wasn't included
all right.
in the visit.
So again, mixed emotions. I guess I'm happy that Angel took a higher road here. Is that how the emotion you're feeling right now?
Skip, when I talked about it yesterday, Skip, I said, look, cooler heads prevailed.
Yeah.
I think when emotion is high, logic is low.
Yeah.
And clearly, Angel Reese was hurt and offended by what Dr. Biden said, that the losing team should also come along with the winning team to the White House. But as I also said, I didn't think what Dr. Biden said wasn't unforgivable. And forgiveness is not for the person that said it. It's for you. So your emotions, so your feelings are not held in bondage and hostage. You can move on. I just felt that it had run its course. Angel Reese had made her point. I think a lot of people were in her corner. And excuse me. She said what she said. Okay, now it's time to move on. Skip, she even said herself, in the beginning we were hurt. It was an emotional because we knew how hard we worked for everything all year. She's right. And she was hurt. But now
rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Yes. But like I also said, Skip, what I said, that's not her call. I said, that's not her call. The difference is between a college athlete and a pro athlete. Pro athletes carry major weight. Major weight. LeBron says, we're not going. They're not going. Steph Curry says, we're not going.
Yeah.
He made a unilateral decision. And everybody said, oh, hey, Steph ain't going, we're not going.
That's true.
That was never her decision to make. It sounded good. And everybody's like, congratulations, yeah. Now, if she chooses not to go, that is her choice. She has a right to say, I do not want to attend. But for her to come out and say, we're not going, make a unilateral decision for everybody.
She said we. Okay.
I know the admin were not going to go from that. They were not going to go for that, Skip. And so I am glad she's doing what she's like, look, it's over, it's done. I was hurt, I was saddened by what was said, but it's time to move on. I think it's time for everybody to move on. And I'm glad they're going. Skip, I was very fortunate. Like you said, going to the White House is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's something that I was very fortunate. I was on 3 Super Bowl winning teams, and I never went. Why? It wasn't because President Clinton was in office 2 times, and Bush Jr. was in office. It wasn't nothing about politics, Skip. I was training.
I got it.
That's why, Skip, I'm easy to say, Travis Kelce had a better career and Gronk, because I got everything I could out of mine.
You did.
So I ain't got nothing to hold my head about because these guys are having careers that passes mine. I'm cool with that. But for Angel, I am so glad this young woman, she's doing a great job. She's growing up right before our eyes.
I think so too.
Because, Skip, this is not something when you go to college, you don't know if you're ever going to be you don't plan to be in a situation like this, that every camera for almost a week wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to talk to you, want to hear what you want to say. And I think she's handled herself well. But I just think it was time to move on. I don't believe what Dr. Biden said was unforgivable. I'm glad she found it in her heart to forgive Dr. Biden. I don't know if she did, but I believe she has. And I'm glad cooler heads prevails. But Skip, as I said, Angel, this is not your call, babe. I'm going to call it back. Young lady, this is not your call.
I got it.
Because higher ups was going to make this decision. Now, if the president, the chancellor, the board of regents, if they say we're not going, but I don't think they were ever going to start that precedent by not going. Angel, it's well within your right if you choose not to go, but I think it'd be a great opportunity for you to go with your team.
Okay.
Since you accomplished this as a team.
Okay.
Y'all go, hey, hold your head high. It's like, there, we're in the White House. Get your pictures. Get your, I don't know if they're going to let you take pictures and stuff like that because they normally, they give you a protocol of what you can and can't do, what you can and can't ask, and what you can and can't say.
Yeah. As you pointed out, Kim Mulkey, the head coach of this team, has some political reason not to go, right?
Yeah.
And she said right after the game, in the euphoric moment of victory, when she was asked, would you go if invited to the White House? She said, yes, I would.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's going to go despite some feelings she has, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that sort of set the precedent for that team.
Right.
Okay, you know and I know, because Angel admitted right after the game, this was a lot about Twitter. She reads constantly her responses, her replies, her ats, her mentions, and she took screenshots all year long, and the narrative was set. You're too hood, you're too ghetto.
Yep.
And now what are you saying? Twitter.
Right.
So I assume she's still reading Twitter.
I'm sure.
And I promise you, there are a whole bunch of people on Twitter who are saying, no. Don't sell out. Don't back down.
They're still trying to gas up, Skip.
Right?
They're still trying to. They're trying to put a battery in her back.
Okay.
But if I could tell this young lady anything, I said after you play a game, give yourself 24 hours from Twitter. Give yourself 24 hours from social media. Good, bad. If you have a 30-30 game, if you have a 40-40 game, because somebody, even though that's a historic game, man or woman, somebody's going to find something to say negative, and you're going to gravitate all the, like 1 million positive, but there's one negative, and you're going to fixate on that.
How dare you?
Give yourself 24 hours, young lady, moving forward, and you'll be just fine. You are to be commended with how you handled this situation.
Okay.
And I am glad that the cooler heads prevail, and you saw your way to define forgiveness and says, okay, you know what? It's time.
Now, to your larger issue, I have said for years and years, the huge difference between college basketball and professional basketball is college basketball is a coach's game.
Oh, yeah, they determine everything.
Everything. Yeah. Iron fist. Yeah. They coach it. They run it.
Right.
They actually strangle it. They coach it to death. Right? Overcoach it. Once you get now the players take over. Upstairs, the players take over. So this is what you're having to deal with as a college basketball player. All right. What would be your advice to Angel Reese? She's going to the White House. Fine, great. And what if the First Lady decides to show up for this ceremony just to show that she's there with her husband and she's there for all the women and just for the LSU women,
I'm going to shake her hand. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to say, Dr. Biden, I apologize for some of the things that I said. Sometimes when emotion is high, logic is low. And I said some things that's not a true reflection of me and my family or this.
Would you really?
Or this university. So,
I'm not sure she feels that in her heart.
But sometimes, Skip, it's okay. I understand sometimes, when we're hurt, we'll say things and we'll do things. And sometimes, my grandma used to always say, boy, there's two things you can't get back. Words said and deeds done. So you have to be careful what you say. Skip, even in the situation when you feel the emotions are at their highest, you got to be careful of what you say. But I don't think what Angel said is unforgivable. I don't think what Dr. Biden said is unforgivable.
Well, no,
hey,
obviously not.
I'm gonna grab Dr. Biden. I'm gonna say, hey, y'all get this picture. I'm hugging the First Lady because one day, if she chooses to have kids, have a family, she's gonna say, your mom was in the White House. Look what your mom did. Mom got a picture with the First Lady.
Here's my point, though. I agree with the principle of your point. I just don't want any of Angel's impact to be diminished by this because what she did was correct. The stance she took, it might be a little too strident, it might be a little bit too over-emotional, you can make all that, but the essence of the stance she took was correct. And I think it had a positive impact resonating across this country.
Yeah.
I think it made a lot of people sit back and say, she's right.
You Skip, I believe you can make a point. What Dr. Biden was trying to do was wrong. Because never, we hadn't seen the losing team get invited to the White House. So I don't think anybody
and you said that the first day, like that's just wrong.
That's not a precedent that you want.
No.
And so I think she made her point by saying, that's not right. Had the shoe been on the other foot, we weren't going.
Heck no.
So I think she made a point, even though she can, like, I'm getting a picture. If I go, I'm getting a picture. I guarantee you they get a picture together. What you want to bet?
Well, Angel would probably like to put it on IG.
I'm going to get a picture. I'm going to get a picture. I'm going to get a picture with the First Lady. That's what I'm going to do.
All right. Okay. I hope that all's well that ended well.
I think it is, Skip.
Guys,
I think it's subsided.
I certainly hope they do get a picture together. I think there's a huge lesson in that a lot of young athletes, a lot of young women who look up to Angel Reese would take away. She's going to be such a powerful spokesperson for female athletes. I'm excited to see what she does next.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, a game after Joel Embiid dropped 52 points. Man, those 76ers, they just could not hang with the Heat last night. They go down 129-101. Embiid had 21 points and only 6 rebounds, 2 assists. A blowout loss at home in Philly. Shannon, do you think this will cost Embiid that MVP award?
No, it just goes to show you every team that's won the championship has had a game like this at some point in time during the season, Skip. I mean, you go back, I'm sure there were games that Jordan lost. Even in Jordan at his apex, lost by 20. And this was just one of those games. We saw, a week ago, Milwaukee got beat by 40. 41. And we saw Boston. Boston that got beat a couple of times this year by 20, 30 points. It just happens. No, Joel Embiid, based on the last month of the season, overtook Nikola Jokic and Skip, it's just basically been a two-man race. How Giannis is having a better year than he had in his MVP season, and they got the best record in all the NBA, and he just flying up under the radar. Ain't nobody even talking about Giannis. But Joel Embiid is 33.1, 55% shooting, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He's the MVP, Skip. I mean, give him the award. Giannis, 31 points, 55% shooting, 9.5 rebounds, almost 6 assists. Sixers are locked into the 3rd seed to get the first-round matchup against the Brooklyn Nets. No, this did nothing because he had already won the award the night before. They just didn't bring him the trophy.
2 nights
ago. Yeah. He already had won the award. They just didn't deliver him his trophy yet.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a case that this tarnished or weakened.
No. Because every MVP has had a game where they shot, 6 of 20 and they lost. Or didn't play particularly well. Nah, it's a accumulation of all the games in the regular season. And I don't believe one game can tarnish an MVP season. Joel Embiid deserves to win this award based solely. Because it was always like it was him and Jokic and Giannis, basically from start to Jason Tatum worked his way up in there also. But it's Joel Embiid's award. And it would be a travesty if he didn't get this award.
Really? Travesty. Okay. Yeah. So I did first guess this. I started telling you back 1st of January. He is the MVP. I think he's making a case he's the best player on the planet. We're going to get deeper into this a little later in the show.
Right.
But as for last night, this was totally predictable to me. I did not love it for Philly's sake. I picked Philly before the year started to win the East, and I don't love these things happening, but they, to your point, do happen. Mm-hmm. This was wrong place, wrong time, because Miami had everything to play for. They are desperately fighting for their playoff lives as opposed to their play-in life.
Right.
That they don't want to have to suffer, just like LeBron is trying not to have to suffer, having to play a couple of extra do-or-die games, maybe just one, but could be 2. So Joel comes out last night and only plays 30 minutes because he doesn't play a second in the 4th quarter, and he makes 9 of 13 shots. Well, you can't fault that. That's pretty great, right? And he does score 21 in 3 quarters. You can't really fault that. He's averaging up around 33.
33 points a game.
Okay, so would he, could he have scored 12 in the 4th quarter? Well, sure he could. Right. So the point is, when you make 9 of 13, it's not like you had an off night or a terrible night. It wasn't that bad. Tyrese Maxey, who is the spark plug of this team, did not play in this game because they're starting to rest up and try to heal up everybody for the playoff run. Mm-hmm. Then DeAnthony Melton, who I keep telling you, I love him, especially as a defender, he tweaked his calf and didn't play the second half. And Doc said he thinks it's okay, that it was just precautionary, but he didn't play in the second half. And then when Joel doesn't play in the fourth quarter, this is going to happen because Miami shot the lights out. Miami very quietly over the last 10 games has been leading the league in three-point shooting. I don't know what's happened. They have taken off. Remember, a year ago right now, were they not a force in the East?
Yep.
And they're not different. They're still the same basketball team from a year ago, right?
Yep.
So last night, they made 18 threes. They shot 46% from three. Well, if you're going to do that, you got a real good shot to win.
All you got to do. I don't look at Joel Embiid's 9 of 13. I just go a little further right and look at his free throw attempts.
Yeah, well,
2 of 4. I mean,
he just didn't get to the free
Joel
throw.
Embiid normally shoots 15 free throws a game. He's normally 13.
He averages 10.
Yeah, so
no, he averages 10 makes. 10, 12 attempts. Right.
So
he's second only to Giannis in attempts.
Right.
Yes.
So Skip. No, but Doc said it was a very difficult game to have energy. Honestly, he added this was an exercise.
Yeah, an exercise. It's like a preseason game.
Right. He probably thought after what Joel Embiid had done a couple of nights ago, he probably should have just, hey guys, sit this one out.
Okay. Well, and even though they were out there, they weren't really out there.
No.
Because nobody took it that seriously. Now, again, in the big picture, I covered every game of the '98 Bulls. I'd have to go back and check it. I just don't remember them getting embarrassed by anybody. They actually, because of that guy, they're going to compete pretty hard every game. They're going to lose some games, obviously, because
but sometimes, Skip, no matter how hard you compete, the ball just don't go in, and the other team just can't miss.
It's the one thing about basketball, and I don't know if it was actually Doc who said this first, but it's always attributed to him. It's a make or miss league.
Yes.
And if you make 18 threes, you got a really good chance of winning the basketball game.
Yes.
Well, they're hot. They're making them. Tyler Hero's out of his mind. Jimmy Butler's out of his mind. I don't know. They're still really good. They're still basically, what's not to like about the Heat except their record? They're 43-37, which is not what people thought they were going to be.
I agree.
Right?
Nope.
Okay. Are they dangerous? Yeah, they're dangerous.
You know what? They might not be dangerous in the regular season, but they become a very dangerous playoff team.
Well, there is this playoff Jimmy thing going on.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back and look at the Heat, Skip, they're always a tough out for anybody. Now, they're going to be in the they look like they're going to be in the play-in. They're the 7th right now. But, man,
they need help.
Yeah.
But they need to win out, so they needed to win this game to even give themselves a prayer of getting in.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're going to have to do what your team's doing. They're going to have to beat they're going to be the 7, and they're going to have to beat the 8 or have a second shot at beating the winner of 9-10.
Right, because right now 8 is Atlanta.
Yeah. Okay.
And 9-10 is Toronto and Chicago.
Okay. They can beat Atlanta in a playoff. Are you serious? Do you remember what Miami did to Atlanta last year? Yeah, he was just cold as ice.
And DeJounte Murray?
Mm-hmm. Well, but he's the best player on the team. No, he is. Come on.
There you go.
He is seriously the best player on the team.
Every once in a while, Acapella show up. I mean, Clint Capella show up.
Acapella. He kind of plays acapella.
Yeah, because sometimes I think he's just out there by. Sometimes I think he out there by himself. Like, what the hell you doing, bro?
That's true. Well, here we go.
You don't worry about that. All I know is your team lost by 30 with the MVP. But boy, let that have been LeBron James or Steph Curry.
So that's where we're going.
Ooh, boy, if that had been little Steph.
I would have said nothing.
You'd have dropped Steph out of the top 20 of historically great player. You already tried to get him out the top 10.
Well, all I know is he is definitely not in my top 10.
Oh, he in the top 10.
Yeah, especially after this year. How could you, seriously, how could you have Stephen Curry on your team and lose 30 times on the road? I know he hadn't played all those games.
He missed a bunch of games. Okay. But they was losing when he was in there. Skip, he's averaging 30 points, and he's on a 50, 40, 90 pace. 50% from the floor, 44% from the three, and 91% from the free throw line.
And his team is barely clinging for dear life to the sixth seed.
I mean, you got to admit, he's the greatest 6'3" ball player ever. I mean, the man's 6'3".
Okay. I just question his clutchness because he's never been great in the fourth quarter, and he's had a whole bunch of disappearing acts in the fourth
I ain't
quarter
gonna let you. I ain't gonna let you to be blasphemous up here with Steph Curry. Steph Curry is a top 10 player.
No, he is not a
yes,
top 10
he is.
player. Some people are saying he's better than Magic or.
That's they're going too far. That's that's crossing the Rubicon. You know that.
Yes,
but no, I can't go that far now. I can't go that far. But he's top 10. Magic top 5.
Okay. Well, let's see how he does. He's going to be the 6th seed. So let's see.
They got Sacramento.
They got Sacramento. That'll be interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, they should.
It's going to be a bunch of point scores in the series.
Here we go.
Let's see if they can flip the switch at the right time, gentlemen. The Heat, meanwhile, they're on a back-to-back. They play the Wizards this evening. All right, sticking with the association when we come back, guys. The Suns' victory last night, did it make them look more or less like a title contender? That's next.
Hey, college football fans, Joel Klatt here. And over on my podcast, The Joel Klatt Show, we discuss the best teams, players, and storylines in college football. This month, leading up to the NFL draft, I'm giving you my mock drafts, top 50 prospects, and interviews with draft experts. So follow The Joel Klatt Show on the Fox Sports app, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and get in on the fun.
And I won't back down.
Kevin Durant is averaging 26 points since becoming a Sun. Phoenix is a perfect 8-0 with KD in the lineup. This after a 119-115 win over the Nuggets last night. Shannon, what did the Suns show you with that game yesterday?
Well, nothing really, Skip. They struggled. I mean, maybe they underestimated because they saw the Nuggets starters weren't going to play, and maybe they took the foot off the gas a little bit. It's like it was going to be easy. But commend the Nuggets because they played well. Bruce Brown played unbelievable. Reggie Jackson, Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, the other Mr. October. Ish Smith came off the bench and gave him real. Uncle Jeff played well. I'm just trying to figure out how Thomas Bryant can't get any run, considering that he played so well in AD's absence. He barely, I mean, all I see is when I look at the stat line is DNP, coach's decision. I think he's regretting that, talking about, I want to get me out of here because I want more minutes. And he hadn't got those minutes that he had hoped for.
Yeah.
Skip, look, KD was sensational down the stretch, but he had to be. He played 40 minutes last night, Skip, and they needed 41 minutes, and they needed all those.
They did.
Chris Paul made every big shot he took in the fourth quarter, and they needed that last night just to overcome Bruce. Bruce Brown was 11 of 18, 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Reggie Jackson was 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 20. DeAndre Jordan, there was a DeAndre Jordan site. He was 12 of 11.
It's pretty good for him.
Yeah, Christian Braun had 15.
He did.
Skip, but I'm not taking anything away from this. KD said he was glad to get 40 minutes under his belt. I don't know if they're going to allow him to play tonight, considering normally guy played a back-to-back. He just played that many minutes the night before. Probably not going to play at all. If so, the minutes will be very limited. Chris Paul, Skip, it took a career high. Chris Paul is in year 17?
Yeah.
And he took 7 threes.
Made 7. That's his career
12.
high.
Yes. Took KD 6.
I'm surprised that's his career high.
I am.
Do you remember the playoff game, the closeout game here at Staples, what used to be called Staples, against the Clippers?
Yep.
He went berserk.
A lot of those were 2s and 1.
I know, because his trademark is that sort of free throw line pull-up jump shot, right?
Mm-hmm. But like I said, KD was sensational. Every big shot that they needed to make. You see the Nuggets go and get a lead of like 6 points, and then KD comes bomb a 3. And they go up, he cut it to 3, and now the Nuggets go down, make a 2, and cut it and get it back up to 5, and here comes Chris Paul. He bombs a 3. So they really couldn't put no tail-like distance between the two, but give the Suns credit. They found a way to stay close, and then the fourth quarter, KD and Chris Paul took the game over. But I'm not reading too much into it. D-Book struggled last night, but they still found a way to win the game, and that's what good teams have to do. When you got KD, there's not going to be very many games in which KD struggles. So even if he does struggle, you got Book. Book is not going to always shoot 3 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 12 from the floor, 1 of 5 from the 3. Chris Paul might not have a 7 of 12 3-point shooting game, Skip, but we know he's capable of having big games.
Yeah.
They just come with less regularity now as he starts to age. But I'm not reading too much into this. Like you said, I believe the Suns are a very good team, but they're not invincible.
Okay. My turn. I am reading everything into a game last night against Denver's second team because I loved what I saw when it was time to see it.
Right.
I'm going to go back and stand by what I said. I hark back to that moment where in Phoenix, in Glendale, at the Super Bowl, it's cold in the morning, but the sun is about to rise, and it literally rose on the Suns because that night, in the middle of the night, we heard that they had acquired Kevin Durant.
Right.
And I opened the show by telling a Phoenix-based crowd, I think you just won the NBA championship.
Right.
I still believe that. I was a little shaky when KD is shooting some sort of pregame layup. He's not in the layup line. He's just doing it by himself. And he gets his feet tangled. I don't know what happened. First, I thought it was a slippery spot on the floor, but I think he just had two left feet for the wrong moment in time, and he turned his own ankle by himself, in and of himself.
Right.
And he just came back. So he's played now 8 games with his new teammates for the Phoenix Suns, and they have won all 8. Why was I so heartened by what happened last night? It's because I don't care who they're playing. They could have been playing the Washington Generals, who used to be the fodder for the Globetrotters, and they're down 99-93. Albeit at home, with 8:34 left in that game. And guess who said, not in my new house?
Right.
Kevin Durant says, watch this. And over the next 4 minutes of that game, only 4 minutes, he scores 12 points. Not all 12 straight, but 12 points in a row. And it starts with he makes 2 free throws. Well, is he not as deadly a fourth-quarter free throw shooter as you'll ever see? He's as deadly a first, second, and third-quarter free throw shooter as you'll ever see because he's a 90%er. So he makes 2 free throws at 8:19. He makes a 3 at 7:59. He makes a 15-foot jumper, and he is the master of the mid-range jump shot with 6:43 left. He makes 2 more free throws, swish, swish, at 5:28, and then he caps it off with another 3 at 4:10 that put them back up 2. Then to your point that you made, then CP3 got into the act, and he made a big 3 with 3:08 left, and they closed the deal. From down 6 with 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes left, they go on a 26-16 run to close the game. You can poo-poo, laugh, scoff, whatever you want at the competition, but remember, they're kind of in exhibition season. They're kind of in preseason. They're just trying to figure each other out. And I loved what everybody said after the game, that Chris Paul said, look, this is a new way for me. I never really played with guys getting double like this. You need to use these games to figure each other out.
Right.
Well, he's figuring out for the first time in his lengthy career, he keeps, how many times you've seen him? Remember that game against Dallas that they played on that Sunday? Down the stretch, he's looking around like, wait a second, you're daring me to shoot?
You're going to leave me wide open.
Okay, because you got 2 guys over there on Book, and you got 2 guys over there on KD, and it's me. And he made them against Dallas down the stretch, and he made a career-high 7 last night because he's going to get these shots. And then I loved what Kevin said, because he said it felt good, but it's always good to log in late game minutes. Well, he gets this. That's why he came to life.
Because he don't come playoffs.
Yeah,
you're not playing no 32, 33 minutes. You're going to be in the high 30s, low 40s.
He said 40 is a number I love. I like to hover around that number. We had to make some meaningful plays in the fourth quarter, so it was good for us. It was just a little microcosm of let's see how we do. It's a practice game. I don't know what you want to call it, but all of a sudden they say, oh, Kevin can do that.
Yeah.
And Chris is starting to feel like that's Kevin's spot. And if I get him the ball there, he's really comfortable.
Yes.
And if I get him the ball there and they triple team him, all I have to do is say, give me the ball back, and I got this 3-point shot.
But in a situation like that, look, even though Devin Booker is a tremendous player, all the focus is going to be on Kevin Durant.
You got it.
This is going to be his opportunity to operate. He's never going to be able to operate more one-on-one.
You know what? You're right. He should be right in the same league with Chris right now, thinking, oh, I'm licking my chops.
Yeah, the barbecue chicken.
Yeah, right?
The barbecue chicken.
Yeah, because a lot of times he's just going to get one defender as opposed to the usual 2, right?
Yes, because the attention goes to Kevin Durant.
All right. Kevin is at the apex of his talent to me. I wasn't sure. I'll give you this. He's on the backside of his prime, but he's definitely still right in his prime.
Yes.
And remember, this was his destination choice. He wanted to go to Phoenix. He wanted to play with Chris. And I believe with all my heart and soul, he wants to do everything in his power to help Chris win a first ring.
Right.
Chris has been doing this for a long time at a very high level. I've had some issues with his behavior before on the court because sometimes he just loses his mind, and we've seen some below-the-belt shots. But in general, he's fought hard his whole career, and it feels right to me that he deserves a run at this.
Right.
He got to the one finals, and then Book pulls his hamstring in the middle of it, and they fall apart. Remember, they won the first two, and then they lost 4 in a row? Yep, and that was the end of that deal. So it would do my heart good to see Chris Paul win a ring, sort of going along for the ride with Kevin. But if they're going to go places in the playoffs, Chris is going to have to keep making these wide open threes.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Skip, you got to rotate. KD first option, Book second option.
Yep.
Chris is going to get a lot of these wide open looks.
Yep.
And the question is, can he knock him down?
Yep.
And if he can knock him down, they're going to be tough. Because I'm not leaving KD wide open. That's for damn sure.
No.
And I'm not leaving Book.
Okay, so their X factor is exactly like your X factor. It still comes down to that big guy in the middle, and he's 7 feet tall compared to 6'11" for Anthony Davis. Do I think DeAndre Ayton is as good as AD? I do not. But is he capable? Is he capable of giving you 15 and 12 on a nightly basis?
Well, the first game, I think he gave you 20 and 20. Against Milwaukee.
Yep.
He's more than capable.
Yep.
I mean, Skip, last night he only took 9 shots. He was 7 of 9. He had 16 points.
Okay.
It's the rebounding total that's concerning. 5? Bro, you 7 foot tall. You only got 5 rebounds. That's 5 more than me.
How many times have you said that about Anthony Davis?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they got out rebounded. What, by 5?
Okay. Rebounding is partly luck. It's just caroms. It's bounces. Does it sort of fall in your direction?
And hustle.
But no, I was going to say it's mostly desire to me. Do you want the basketball worse than the other guys?
Because Dennis Rodman was not no leaper.
He was not no leaper.
But he led the league. He led the league in rebounding 7 times.
Yeah, listen, Dennis Rodman could barely dunk.
Yes.
No, seriously. Every rebound he corralled, it came down to him because he was anticipating the bounce, and he was shielding, screening somebody off with his butt.
Right.
And it's all about position. And then in the end, it's just about your heart.
Yeah.
Is your heart bigger than theirs?
See ball, go get ball.
That is correct. What did Pat Riley once famously say?
No rebounds,
no rings. It's as simple as that. Now you got 2 big X factors in the West, Anthony Davis, DeAndre Ayton. No rebounds, no rings. Who wants the West ring? Not that it's a full ring, but who wants to go represent the West in the NBA Finals? It well could come down to those 2. Who's got the most guts? Who's got the biggest heart? Who cares the most? Whose desire will outweigh the other guy's desire?
Right.
That's it. Okay, well, I'm not completely sold on DeAndre Ayton, but I'm sold on those big 3 because when he comes along for the ride, you have a big 4.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's why I like them. That's why I love them. That's why I think they can win it all. I think they will win it all. You don't.
Like I said, but who am I going with in the West? Like, man, they're going to really have their work cut out for them. All things being equal, the Lakers, Memphis is a big team.
They are.
That cause you a matchup problem because at the end of the day, who's going to match up with Ja?
For Phoenix, you mean? Well, Chris is going to have to guard him a lot. He's just going to have to do it with his head more than his body.
Because all they're going to do is put you in the pick and roll and and he's going to try to get downhill.
Yeah.
Do and ones, and he's going to throw the lob up to J-Jack.
Yeah. Okogie can really defend at a high level, but he's in that 6'5" range, you know. So I don't know. Maybe he can guard Ja some.
Well, you got to just hope they're not seasoned enough to understand game 6, game 7, late in ball game execution. KD said we just need CP to read the game like he says, college, high school, whatever the game tells him to do, he's going to go out there and do that.
Yeah. Look, in the end, playoffs are about big shot making. Yeah. And those 3 guys can make big shots. Listen, Devin Booker is a clutch, big game, big shot maker.
It might not be from 3, but he's going to get to his spot.
He's going to get to his spot, and he's going to
elevate. Yep.
And as our man Eddie House told me from day one, because he used to be sitting courtside for a lot of those early book games, he said, he's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Because he does. So here we go.
You just need KD not to do what he did.
Suns at Lakers tonight, guys.
That will not happen.
That won't happen again?
No, because that was all about Kyrie.
Man, don't do that. Skip, don't do that.
Kyrie. It was just issues everywhere. That team had no heart. Its heart had been ripped out.
And get out with Kyrie for, huh?
Well, I'm talking about vaccination fault, not on the court. Well,
okay, that's a topic for another segment, gentlemen. I got to wrap you. Suns at Lakers tonight. Let's see if that big three plays, especially CP3.
We got something for him anyway.
Okay, would the tournament play-in be a must-win for LeBron's legacy? I got to get your thoughts on that, gentlemen, on the other side of this break. Since LeBron won his last title in 2020, the Lakers had a first, an exit, followed by entirely missing the playoffs last season. Now, the Lakers are currently sitting in 7th in the West. If they don't move, they're going to land in the play-in tournament with 2 games remaining in the regular season. Shannon, okay, let's assume the Lakers make it into the play-in, not the playoffs. How important would next week be to LeBron's legacy?
None. It's funny how we try to create this narrative that if LeBron doesn't make it to the playoffs or win the playoffs. So Kobe's last 3 years, he didn't make the playoffs. How did that impact his legacy? Did it change anybody's perspective of who and what Kobe Bryant is? No.
Well, he was injured a lot.
So so it should have been. Yeah. So hold on, wait a minute now. I thought legacy is playing and being able to get to the playoffs. How is that LeBron's fault? Kobe played 6 games, 35 games, 16 games. Yeah. He averaged 14 points, 22 points, 18 points. Michael, his last 2 years, he went to the Wizards. Did he look like the Michael Jordan that won the titles 3 times consecutive twice?
Nobody been out for 3 whole years.
So how did that impact his legacy? Retiring the first time and coming back, getting knocked out of the playoffs in the first round, retiring for 3 years, coming back and not making the playoffs.
But most people accepted his legacy just ended with holding the pose in Utah in '98.
So LeBron's legacy didn't end. Didn't end with him passing Kareem?
No.
Oh, so why not?
No.
Why not?
Well, I don't
you want to end? See what you want to do? Everybody wants to end their greats on a high note. Oh, this is George Lake, but he played. He played 2 more years after this.
Okay.
Kobe won his last title in 2010.
Okay.
He retired in 2016. So did that impact his legacy?
2 nights ago, what did LeBron do in the second half?
Skip. He scored 30. They lost the game.
Okay.
But that game didn't impact LeBron's legacy.
Is it my turn?
No, but I'm just saying, why do we keep trying? LeBron is averaging 29 points a game in year 20. Last year, he averaged 30 points a game in year 19.
Okay.
But so how is that helping his legacy? We don't mention anything about him doing what he's doing at the right age.
Expectations remain very high because he's mostly been healthy and he continues to play at an extremely high level.
So have we ever seen a player have these kinds of expectations this late in their career?
No, because we've never seen a player play this well this late in their career.
Should be why can't that be the narrative? Why can't that be how great LeBron is playing, adding to his legacy? Okay. Only if he doesn't do something does it take away from his legacy. Not if he does something good, adds to his legacy. Okay. We only want to subtract. No pluses, only minuses.
Okay, but what did we see the last 2 years? We saw him 2 years after the bubble championship.
Yep.
Then they lost in the first round to Phoenix. Phoenix was very good at that point.
Both guys, but AD got hurt and Bron was limping it going into the playoffs.
Was he? I don't remember him.
Yeah, you remember the man stepped on. You remember what Solomon Hill did? Oh, Solomon Hill all of a sudden was a linebacker.
But he came back after that.
He wasn't the same. You know that.
Okay, but they lost in 6. In Game 5, he infamously vacated the bench with 6 or 7 minutes left to go and walked up the tunnel and said, I just can't watch this anymore, right? And then they got closed out in 6, I believe, back at Staples, right? Okay, so they lost in the first round, and then last year, they just flat out missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was in large part because LeBron campaigned, pushed for, encouraged Lakers management to go get Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
And to your credit, you said, I don't love this.
It ain't gonna work, no.
Yeah, and I just was adamant about that will not work. It was a swing and a miss. The first basketball IQ swing and miss in LeBron's career, where he has the highest IQ, and I'm like, what are you thinking? I keep asking, what do these players see in Russell Westbrook other than he averaged a triple-double for 4 of the last 5 years?
He play hard.
Okay, he plays hard, but they have awe for him. They put him on a pedestal that I have never put him on.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. Everybody applauds him from a distance. Nobody says, I would love to play with him.
Well, I don't know. LeBron said he wanted to play with him. Yeah, okay, and I believe AD was right there with him.
Yeah, that's what happened. But I'm talking about all these other players.
Yeah.
But Skip, they keep saying, oh, this, and this. But when did he lead the team to the playoffs? When did he Skip, to a championship?
I've been asking that since KD days back in Oklahoma City. Help me out. Show me.
Look.
How does playing hard and stuffing the stat sheet every night, how does it impact the scoreboard?
I think Russ is a great guy off the court. I think a lot of guys, because I think some guys are like one way on the court and they're entirely different way off the court.
I'll give you that.
And so I think people really like the person that Russ is off the court. And I'm not saying that he's a bad player on the court. I just don't believe his style of play is conducive for winning a championship.
It is.
That's where I am with that. I think he's a phenomenal player. I love what he does in the community. Guys, like I said, I haven't heard a guy say anything negative about Russ.
No. But it's hard when he is your starting point guard.
True.
He's not just complimentary. He's the floor general, right?
Yes.
He initiates, he orchestrates, and as you know, he is a turnover machine.
Right.
So your orchestration can go sour south because it gets off on the wrong foot because he turns the ball over so many times.
Right.
Okay, so here we come to this year. And we talked about this earlier. You can look back at 15 games. I believe the Lakers were in position to win by closing the deal in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Some of those games were LeBron's fault. Many of those games were AD's fault, missing late free throws, just disappearing, whatever. It was a combination of your two superstars allowed the opponents to steal games for you. I got 15. I could go back chapter and verse on all of them. And they're pretty shameful losses. Yet, in the end, the Clipper loss, which was more the Clippers being great than you being bad,
right?
It is going to relegate you to the play-in. So all of a sudden, LeBron has put himself in position of being indicted by Twitter or whoever, by Laker Nation. Let's just do Laker Nation, because he's still playing at such a high level that he did something the other night against the Clippers in a loss that I still can't even fathom. I can't get it to go in my psyche where I can wrap my head around it.
Right.
Shannon, only LeBron James could have done this. I would say he's the most interesting man in sports. Well, only he could pull off a 3-point first half followed by a 30-point second half in a back-to-back after he had to play extended minutes. What was it, 38 total at Utah? 38 minutes at Utah, including 5 hellacious minutes trying to redeem yourself in overtime. And then you just completely ghost the first half. You were so out of it that I've never seen you play a worse half. And then, to me, under the circumstances, you played your greatest half ever. You made 12 of 14 shots. You got hot from 3.
Right.
You were unstoppable going to the basket. I don't know. It was a tour de force, but you couldn't overcome the hot hands on the other side, mostly from, as you know, but in the end, Bones Highland has scoring 14 points.
And normal Powell, they couldn't keep him off the free throw line.
Off the free throw line. He made all 10 of his free throws. Okay, so my point is, it sets up the expectations of, wait a second, LeBron passed Kareem, and the other night he scored 30 in the second half, and he's in the play-in tournament? Okay.
Think about this, Skip, but you're asking a guy.
Yeah.
We're asking a guy to do something that we've never asked any other player in NBA history. To have the expectations of some. Tim Duncan didn't have the. Tim Duncan played 19 years. Tim Duncan did not have the expectations. He had greater players around him. He had a young Kawhi. Tony Parker was still there. Manu Ginobili was still there.
Yeah, they were still in their primes.
Kawhi wasn't even in his prime. Kawhi hadn't even scratched the surface of his prime yet. Because it was only in his second year when he won the title.
I agree.
So that's a whole different situation. So to add,
I mean, if they had flamed out and failed miserably, most people would look at what did Tim do?
They didn't look at Tim. Skip, we saw Tim. Skip, Tim was not the same player when they won that last title.
No.
But LeBron is still playing at an elite level.
That's my point. It sets him up for indictment where you say, LeBron, if you can do that against the Clippers, and they're a good team, Kawhi guarded him the whole second half. Kawhi couldn't stop him.
No, but
he looked like he was 28.
But see, that's the narrative that was created that Kawhi could ever stop LeBron, and he couldn't.
Yeah,
he never could. Never.
Maybe in his youth and
not in his best.
Not stop him, but he could bother him.
Yeah, bother me. So LeBron, instead of getting to 33, he'd get 28.
Okay, I got it. All right. So the point is this: all of a sudden, if they have to play the Pelicans, albeit at home, on Wednesday night, it looks like it's setting up for that.
Yeah.
The spotlight, in the end, it goes on LeBron because he's LeBron freaking James.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And in one game, anything can happen.
And it's a one or done deal.
Yes.
You get a
reprieve because they're the 7th seed. But I'm just saying, one game, you can lose.
And you can put yourself in huge jeopardy because then you get another home game against the winner, we think, the way it sets up right now, of Minnesota versus Oklahoma City. Well, let's say Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma City. I watch them. I watched them last night take Utah apart in the fourth quarter. They're interesting because they're all young. They don't know better. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a star. He is a 30-a-night star. And he does it efficiently and effectively and not spectacularly. He's the guy you look up and you say, wait, he got 30 tonight? Yeah, he got 30.
Skip, I guess I just look at it like I don't believe that once you've accomplished something, it can turn. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. I don't think Kobe's last 3 years tarnished his legacy, or at least because people still. I mean, there was a video of LeBron. I mean, guys is talking about LeBron win a ring, bro. I brought a ring to the Lakers. Well, Kobe would never. Well, Kobe missed the playoffs the last 3 years.
Okay, but as you point out, he was hurt some more. Yeah, and his body just completely broke down and betrayed him.
But I also saw a clip when they asked Kobe what happened. Kobe said, that back-to-back, I just ran out of gas. Mm-hmm. So this notion that LeBron James is the only great player that's ever complained of a back-to-back and said I was tired is just not true, because people want to create a narrative that LeBron whines and LeBron does this when all the other great players before LeBron have said and done the exact same thing.
Except once upon a time, everybody played every game. Yeah, they didn't even think about it.
But Skip, that was in the 80s and 90s. Okay. That's been long time ago. Ain't nobody. The likelihood, hold up, who is playing all these games? Somebody's played like 90-something games in a row, and they're like applauding. Skip, these days, ain't no AC Green. You're not finna get no AC Green. His record is, you talking about what record is unbreakable? AC Green's record is unbreakable.
I'll buy that.
Nobody's playing 1,000 straight, I think, 1,000, 1,100 straight games anymore.
Okay. But you don't hear me take 1 second's issue with LeBron for not playing a back-to-back. I was applauding him for, wait, you're going to play back-to-back against the Clippers?
And look what he gave you. I mean, if somebody would have told you, based on his age, his time in the league, that he could still summon it up, and especially after the first half, I didn't think he was going to come back out of the locker room.
I told you, it was upside down. It made absolutely no sense.
No.
He ran out of gas in the first half, and then he gassed up at halftime.
Yep.
Who could do that? I give you full credit for that. My hat is off. I almost stood up on this table and applauded. In the second half, the energy, the attack mode that he was in, okay? So it's not going to pay off into the whole goal was get me another week off. Right. Get me the 6th seed so I don't have to mess with this silly play.
Well, how about this, Skip? Go ahead and take care of business on Wednesday, and you still can get a couple of days off. You might not get the rest that you would have gotten had you been the 6th seed, but anything is better than nothing.
But when the plan was first broached or announced,
he hated it.
What superstar said?
It's a dumb idea.
That's a dumb idea. Mm-hmm. That's what he said.
Right.
Who came up? He asked, who came up with this idea?
Right.
Okay, well, now he's stuck having to deal with this idea.
Right.
It is beneath his dignity.
Right.
He just passed Kareem Abdul. He's the greatest scorer in NBA history, and he's relegated now, it appears, to play a one-shot deal, a play-in. I don't even like the sound of it, right? It sounds like LeBron James shouldn't have to play a play-in.
I just they need to make a decision, Skip. What are these games? Because they say they don't count for the regular season. They don't count for the postseason. So it's almost like guys are getting stats, but going where? The NBA needs to make a decision, Skip. Is this a regular season game or is it a playoff game?
I don't know. Nobody can figure out what it is.
Skip, it's got to be something, though. You just can't play a game, a meaningful ball game, and the stats don't matter.
Well, now we're down to you played 82. Not that anybody plays all 82, but you had an 82-game schedule, and now it's a do or die.
Yeah.
The first one's not completely do or die for the 7-8 seed, but it can be for 9. It is for 9-10, and then it can be for the loser of the 7-8 because they could lose again at home and they're out.
Right.
Okay.
We're not losing. We're not losing the first time.
All right. So I think the fans like this. It's
of course.
I mean, I'm into
I think the fans like Skip because the regular season is coming down to the end. If you like the NFL, Skip, if you notice, basically the last week of the regular season is all division games. Yeah. So ain't no ducking, ain't no resting. And now you only got one bye.
Well, remember, going back 2 years ago when they lost to Phoenix in the first round, they had to get through the play-in. Mm-hmm. They had to beat Steph. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, we got it. You see, Bron, when Draymond hit Bron and I, and he had one eye closed, and he let that three go.
He made a three, and he said, I was seeing 3 rims.
Yeah, you got that like Bushwick Bill, my eye.
No, it's like, let's make a deal. Is it behind door 1, 2, or 3? And he said, I just picked the middle door.
Hey, he shot it. I just saw it throw his head up there. I can't see nothing.
Yeah, it was vintage LeBron. He couldn't see.
What about Daddy
and he made a 3.
Yeah, you saw that?
Okay.
And you saw what he did in the second half Wednesday night, right?
I saw it. I told you it was all time.
Why'd you pick right away and left off for tonight?
Okay, that's what everybody is saying. Wait a second. LeBron's in the play-in. We'll watch him pick right up on Wednesday night against the Pelicans. They are dangerous. They've won 8 of their last 10.
I remember they used to say that about us. Y'all in the wild card with John Elway and this one and that, but y'all in the wild card. And at the end of the day, we had the trophy with Commissioner Tagliabue.
From
the wild card.
How many times did you wild card to the trophy? Twice? In Denver both times?
No, Denver and Baltimore. Once in Denver, once in Baltimore.
Were you a wild card in Baltimore?
Yeah. Tennessee, we were in the division with Tennessee. Tennessee won the division. They did. We were 12-4. They were 13-3.
So you had to go to Tennessee.
I had to go to Tennessee
to beat them. Mm-hmm. Was that the first game?
That was the first game. We beat them the first time they had ever lost in Adelphi.
Yes.
Which was 4 weeks earlier. We beat them in their building.
Okay.
And then we went back.
Did you have another playoff game before that?
Yeah, we beat the Broncos.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
We did.
All right. Well, so you know wild cards.
I know. Hey. We take our show on the road, Skip.
Yeah.
Hey, we musicians. We musicians. We the Stones. We the Beatles. We sell out. We Wembley. We don't care where we go. Really? Rose Bowl. Sell it out.
Are you talking about the Lakers or the
Lakers?
Us.
It don't matter.
Ravens.
The Lakers say we don't care. We go on the road. We take our show on the road. Take it on the road. Go to Memphis. As a matter of fact, we're going to see Graceland while we're there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Go by the Lorraine Hotel.
Are you suggesting that LeBron is bigger than Elvis?
You know what, Skip? I was thinking that. Were you thinking that too? Yeah. I was thinking that too.
I thought you were going to go there. I think that would be blasphemous on Beale Street, right?
Oh, yeah. Ain't nobody bigger than not Memphis. Ain't nobody bigger than Elvis. Not Memphis, not in Tennessee.
You're not going to take kindly to that, Shannon.
Not in Tennessee.
That would be bulletin board material.
Absolutely.
Guys, let's poke our head in on the Masters when we come back. Do you think Tiger made enough progress yesterday, did enough to make the cut? Let's discuss. Tiger Woods shot 2 over in yesterday's first round of the Masters. Tiger currently tied for 54th, but says that in the second round, he's going to look to, quote, inch his way back. Shannon, what did you make of Tiger's first round?
Well, Skip, I thought he held it together pretty well. I didn't expect him to be under par. He had only played once since July before the Masters, and he looks a little rusty. He's older now, and his body's even more battered. He struggled on the front 9, bogey 3, 5, and 7, and he had 5 bogeys and 3 birdies on his card. Bogeyed the last hole. Could have had a really nice round had he not bogeyed the last hole, Skip. And he says, the pain. He said the pain is constant. This is what we know, Skip. It's kind of like working out. When you don't work out for a long time, that first day, you get a little sore. but it's that delayed onset, DOMS. It's that second, it's that third day, if he's able to make the cut into Saturday, where the body, because he hadn't put it through that, yeah, the body remembers what it used to do, the swings and all that stuff, but Skip, he hadn't been on the course. He hadn't had to walk and go through what he went through. Remember, he's in the bunker, and he's trying to stabilize himself, and, he hopped a couple of times. He knows what everybody else sees. I'm never going to be the same Tiger. My body's not going to be the same again, and he's trying to pick and choose. Of course, as you said, he's very, very familiar with this course. But even familiarity, Skip, when you don't do something I guarantee you, Jeff Gordon, you take Jeff Gordon. He hadn't driven a car in 7-8 years since he retired. He knows Daytona. What's the likelihood you put him in a car and he going to go win? Even if you give him his former crew, what's the likelihood he get in that car and drive it around and win Daytona? It just doesn't happen like that, Skip. You got to do this. And golf is a sport, Skip. Man, my brother say, man, I hit it great today. Man, I shot 68. Go back out there tomorrow, man, what you shot? 75. Bro, you just shot 68. How the hell you shoot a set? Man, hey, yesterday ain't got nothing to do with today. Ain't got nothing to do with today.
82.
So, and that's what Tiger's up against, Skip. He just cannot, his body won't allow him to put the practice time in, what he needs to be. I'm not saying he won't ever be that Tiger Woods that we knew that burst on the scene. We're never going to see that guy again, Skip. But I thought all in all, he held it together really well, because this round could have really got away from him.
I agree with your last statement. I take some issue with some of your other statements.
Okay.
Really, if you look hard at his MO over the last 5 years, he has quit prepping for the majors. He just doesn't play a lot of golf because his body is breaking down in ways that were happening before he nearly killed himself in a car wreck.
Right.
He had one thing after another. We don't have enough show to list all the injuries. Some of them self-inflicted because he'd be running in Army boots because he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. Right. He had ACL. He tore his Achilles, his elbows, his shoulders. It's just been, his body is Kobe-esque in that it's just fallen completely apart.
Well, it's being held together with chicken wire and electric tape right now, Skip. So.
Okay, it's a miracle he's even playing golf, period.
Yes.
Let alone playing at the Masters.
Competitive golf, yes.
Competitive golf. So let's go back to 2019. He had barely played in 3 tournaments. It's for other guys, you play 6 or 7 or 8, 10 tournaments building up to the Masters. It's like a 6-month ordeal.
Right.
It's like getting ready for a marathon. And he just shows up at Augusta 2019, and he shocks me right out of this chair. He won the golf tournament. What?
Right.
You won the Masters?
Yeah, but that was before he almost lost his life.
Okay, that's before. But he came back last year after nearly losing his life with no tournaments, 0. And he walks out on a course he knows like the back of both hands, and he says, I'll be okay. You will? He made the cut. He's made the cut 22 straight times as a professional. 22 straight times. It's impossibly great.
So is that what you're going to measure him by now? Just making the cut? Or is that Tiger Woods that we tell him to us?
Except we all thought going into this tournament, do I give him a shot? Sure, I give him a shot, right? Okay, here's the problem. He had played 1 tournament this year before this, and it was, quote unquote, his tournament out here in Los Angeles at Riviera. It's called Genesis now. It used to be the LA Open.
Okay.
He knows Riviera just about as well as he knows Augusta National. He never played very well because he's never won at Riviera, which I still can't compute.
Right.
But the point was, he shows up like nobody in the history of golf could do this. He just shows up. Speaking to your brother, it's just like just showing up. Like your brother takes 6 months off and just shows up and shoots 68. Well, you can't.
No.
Except you're Tiger Woods.
Right.
So he shows up, and on the first day, he shoots 69 at Riviera. It's a hard golf course. I know it. I've walked it 1,000 times. He shoots 69, and then on Saturday, what they call moving day, after he made the cut, he shot 67. So he was a credible player at the LA Open. So that was his one preface to the Masters.
Right.
He said going into this Masters, my game is in better shape than it was last year when I made the cut.
Right.
Why? Because he had practiced more. So he doesn't play competitive golf to get ready. He practices his tail off.
Right.
So he had actually over-practiced to me, because when he showed up here yesterday, I was shocked at how much, when I started watching in the afternoon, he was limping like crazy. Now, this is a really hilly golf course.
Yeah.
TV doesn't do it justice.
Right.
Trust me. I've walked this course 100,000 times. It is just over. It's a roller coaster of hills, and it's hard, especially if you've got knee problems or foot or ankle. It's just hard on you. So
and he got that bad back.
He's got a bad back. It's all bad. He was asked after the round, how did that bad leg do? And he said, it's sore. Well, it's sore. Well, it looked bad because at Riviera, he wasn't limping that much.
Right, exactly.
He looked much better at Riviera, and that wasn't that long ago. So that's what shocked me. And now he's got weather issues because yesterday the golf course was begging for somebody to shoot -7, and that's what
and 3 people did, right?
Okay? And Tiger is capable of shooting, 3, 4, 5 under, and he 3-putted 3 times on the front, as you point out. He lipped 3 putts, and yet then, because, listen, his drive, his willpower, it's unlike any athlete we've ever seen. I don't know. I put Ali up in there.
Right.
I put Jordan up in there, but Tiger's up. Listen, I'm talking about just being able to focus your mind and say, I'm going to overpower this. To me, golf is the hardest game in the world. To your point, you have to play it well. and he's taunting golf. He's scoffing at golf. I'll just show up and I'm Tiger Woods. I'll figure this out. Right. Well, on the back 9 yesterday, he started to figure it out because on 15, it's the par 5. You can go for it in 2. He had a 27-foot putt. It broke 5 feet from left to right, and he drained it, hit it right in the middle of the cup. That was vintage Tiger. Right. He turns right around and goes to the par 3 16th, and he drops it 8 feet, and that pin was way at the front, and he drains that, and he's birdied 2 in a row. He birdied 15 and 16. I'm thinking, is he going to birdie out?
You thinking, here we go.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking, here we go. He missed a birdie putt on 17, and then on 18, he got the worst break you can get. He had a good drive. I think we have a picture of it. But the ball winds up 1 foot to the right of the fairway bunker on the left side of the fairway. Well, if the ball's 1 foot to the right, where are you going to stand, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you don't have a stand. So you got to put one foot way down in the bunker in the sand, and the other one you got to hike it way up on the grass above you. And then you have to choke down on the club and see if you can just duck hook something that'll just run up to the green. And it ran into the green side bunker.
What leg did he have the surgery on? Was it his right?
Right.
It's the one that's
but he was hopping on his left. And he said, I can hop on my left, but I can't hop on my right. Or I got to have a big problem. You might need another surgery, right? Because, as he said, I got a whole lot of hardware in there because it's being held together with baling wire. Okay, I don't even know how he's out on the golf course. Right. And to your point, in the biggest picture, at the end of the day yesterday, a 74, it's +2, 2 over par. It's not bad. Right. I mean, all things considered, it's pretty good, right?
Most guys probably can't take off. Maybe there are a handful. But a majority of the guys, even these top pros, not taking off the amount of time and just showing up at this course and shooting 74.
Trust me, nobody
every guy that's in that tournament other than him, Skip.
You know why? Because they get on the first tee and they would not trust anything about their preparation. Right. And once the demon gets in your head, that ball, that little tiny white ball, it doesn't move until you move. Right. It's not tennis where, I can just react. He hits it back over the net to me and I hit it back to him. It just sits there on that tee. Right. And it just stares up at you like, you going to hit me? You going to hit me solidly or not? And here we go. And as you know, that hole is very small and that ball looks even smaller and it can go sideways quickly. And out on that golf course, there's a whole lot of woods and there's a whole lot of water and there's a whole lot of sand.
Man, they put me out there on that tee. They put me on that box skip with all them people around.
That's the problem.
That golf ball looked like a tic-tac.
It would. It would look like a tic-tac and it would be taunting you. It would be looking up at you like, I dare you to hit me.
Ain't no way I've hit that ball with all the people around there.
Okay, well, that's the problem. And so now he's got a weather issue because the weather is going to come in today. He's got a late tee time because you go early and then you go late. Right. So he's got the basic afternoon tee time. Good luck because he's going to get the thrust of it. The brunt of the front is going to hit. The temperature is going to drop 20, 30 degrees, and it's going to rain today. And then it's going to get real cold by Augusta standards tomorrow, and it's going to get very windy. How is that baling wire going to do?
Ain't going to do terrible.
Okay, and that's if he makes it to Saturday. So, but when Tiger Woods says, I'm going to inch my way back in, I sit back and say, I'm not going to bet against him. I'm not.
I just want to go. I want to go get the food, because the prices hadn't changed in 100 years. They got $1.50 sandwiches and $1.50
Would you eat one of those famous pimento cheese?
I don't like pimento cheese. I don't do no pimento cheese.
Okay, well, that's the famous
that
one.
It is, yeah. And the peach, the ice cream sandwich that's peach ice cream.
Peach ice cream.
No, I don't want. I just want to go try the food one time. I heard the food is great.
Yeah, I read the other day one of the golfers said one of my friends wanted pimento cheese sandwiches, so I took them back to him. Said I kept them in my suitcase for a couple of days before he retrieved them.
Sound like my sister.
Okay, well I don't know if I'd be trusting that pimento.
Not pimento cheese for no couple of days. You got to eat that the same day they make it.
I think
Man,
so.
you talking about food poisoning? What? A couple of days pimento cheese? Nah.
I'm with you. I don't like it in the first place.
I don't like it either. Not no 2 days, 2 days.
No.
Nah.
I'd say you have to eat it in the first few hours of it being made. I wouldn't even give it a whole day. All right, guys. Tiger tees off at 1 Eastern today. We will see how he fares. Let's get back to the association. Joel Embiid. Guys, do you think he might actually be the third best player right now, despite being the MVP favorite?
Yeah.
Let's discuss coming up next. Yesterday, the Ringer updated their top 125 players in the association. Nikola Jokic taking that top spot, followed by Giannis, and then Joel Embiid rounds out the top 3. Shannon, all right, jump in. Do you agree with these rankings?
No, Giannis is the best player in the NBA. Skip, did you realize he is the first player to have a 30-10-5 season with 50% field goal shooting since Wilt? Since Wilt.
Okay.
Damn near 50 years ago. He's the best player. It seems to me that injuries impacted everybody else except Steph and Dame. LeBron James is not the 13th best player in the NBA.
I'll buy that.
I don't care what anybody says. LeBron James is still a top 10 player.
He is. I agree.
Where you rank him in the top 10, he is a top 10 player.
That is fair and accurate.
For me, Giannis is the current best player in the NBA. He happens to be the best player on the best team, and his numbers are even better than when he won the MVP. So for me, it's Giannis is the best player in the NBA. Joel Embiid deserves to be in the top 5. I think for the longest time, Skip, he was right outside of the top 5. I think he was 6, maybe at 7 at one point in time. But, he definitely needs to be in the top 10, averaging 33, 10, and 4. Or if he could have got up to 5, he'd be a player that's 30, 10, and 5 on 50% field goal percent shooting. But Giannis is the best player in the NBA currently.
Shannon, there's one enormous glitch in your argument for Giannis. He can't shoot.
But he's shooting 55% from the floor, Skip. How you do that?
Okay, those are dunks. I'm talking about shooting jump shots. He can't shoot a lick.
So if I kick the ball in and you shoot it in and I get 2 points, you get 2 points. So what?
From 3, he is shooting 27.5%. He doesn't qualify in the big picture, but if he did, he would be even worse than the worst qualifier, who is Banchero, who's still at the very bottom, just above Russ, although Russ did make a couple against your Lakers that I still can't believe. But 27.5 is horrendously bad, but this is worse. From the free throw line, he's 64.5%.
Yes.
Yet he shoots the most free throws in the league. He can get to the free throw line, but he can only make 64.5%. That ranks 121st of 124 qualified. He is a liability at the free throw line in large part because he gets there so often. If he didn't get there very often, it wouldn't really matter. It'd be inconsequential. But he's leaving a whole lot of points on the floor because nobody shoots more per game. Nobody has shot more overall than Giannis. Free throws. They're called free throws because they're free money. You can just go up there and from 15 feet, you can score a point and then another point.
Right.
So my point is that you have to disqualify him to some extent because he's such a liability from 3 in the free throw line. He didn't used to shoot threes at all. Now he will. If you dare him, he will shoot threes. He's just not very accurate shooting threes. So the flip side is Joel Embiid. I keep telling you, I've been telling you now for 3 months, In my life, I've never seen a better 7'1" shooter. I'm talking about jump shooter, distance shooter than this man. I know Dirk is in the conversation, but Dirk's not a post player.
No.
He's 7 feet tall, but he's a one-legged.
He's not a center.
Yeah, he's not a
You
center.
got to relegate this to centers because Kevin Durant can outshoot both of them.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But listen, Joel Embiid, touch, arc, just sweetness of swishing three-point shots or free throws.
Let me ask you this. If I poll 30 general managers, who you think going first? Okay, I give you Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid. Which one you think getting drafted first out of the 30 GMs?
Well, I know I can only answer for me. I'm taking brotherly love over there. I got brotherly love for brotherly love.
I fear the deer.
Yeah?
I fear the deer.
Okay.
I'm taking Giannis. Because Giannis, who's the better defender?
Boy, that is close.
It ain't close.
It's very
close. It wasn't close to what?
Well, I'm glad you got off the guy on the left.
Don't worry about what I'm off of.
Because you were like mile high, like as in you've been smoking the wrong something.
What about Giannis?
When you were on that guy's side.
You realize Giannis has been different. You know about close. It's close to what? If you slow dance and you throwing grenades or horseshoes, you got a compelling argument. Giannis has been defensive player of the year. And you saw the chase down that he did on the Wizards player?
He's really good on defense. So is Mr. Big over here.
I think you said really good as an understatement.
Hey, did you see the 2 blocks that Embiid had in the third quarter of the Celtics as they were trying to cut it down to 1 point, and it was Brogdon first? No, sorry. And then it was your man JT, Jason Tatum. Get that you-know-what out of here.
And you remember, Giannis saved the day on several occasions when DeAndre Ayton had the dunk that threw him the lob, and he had the dunk. And Giannis came out of nowhere. Excuse me. I'm not saying Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is more than worthy of being a top 3. But the current, as we sit here and discuss this topic, best player in the NBA is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Embiid shoots 86% from the free throw line, making 10 out of 12 a game. So he averages 10 makes a game. He has shot the second most free throws, but he cashes his free throws.
Yeah.
So he's 86% from free throw. I'm going to say it again. Giannis is 64.5. That is a precipitous drop-off to Giannis. Free throws.
But let me ask you a question. His free throws, until those free throws and three-point shots start costing his team games, it's like Shaq. Shaq wasn't a great free throw shooter, but he didn't cost his team a game. So Giannis,
maybe later in his career.
You remember what he did? You remember what he did in Game 6? They kept the hack of Giannis, and he just kept going to the line. I think he missed one. I think he was like 17 or 18.
He was good at that point.
Okay,
but he's not good right now.
That's good.
Yeah. And by the way, recently at Milwaukee, the guy on the far right here, number 21, with 40 seconds left, shot a three-point shot and swished it like it was a free throw that gave them their first lead coming from 14 down to win the game.
I just saw Bam out of bail do a number on your guy.
Yeah. My guy didn't even try.
He did try. He did try. But see, that's the thing. You see what you just said? Your guy didn't try. When have you ever heard somebody say that about Giannis? When have you ever said anything about Giannis' body language? When have you ever heard say Giannis not giving you effort? So if you're going to deduct Giannis for three-point shooting and free throws, I get to deduct from Joel Embiid not playing all the time, not carrying all the time.
1 week ago last night, Giannis played at Boston and lost by 41 points. Did he care that night? How hard did he play that night?
He played hard. They just, whoa, Skip, you just lost. Just because you lose, that doesn't mean you didn't play hard or you didn't care. Sometimes teams just better than you.
Joel Embiid hit 9 out of 13 shots last night and scored 21 points in 3 quarters.
It wasn't enough.
That's pretty good.
It wasn't pretty good.
Yeah.
Look at Giannis. Giannis. Last time I saw Giannis play, he had triple-double. He said, I kind of like these trip-doubles.
Last time I saw Joel Embiid actually play in a game, it was against the very good defensive team, Boston Celtics. And
you say they're not the same. You remember?
You
say they're not the same as under this guys they were under Udoka.
They rank 3rd in defense.
But that's what you say they're not the same. You say to your eye.
I don't think they're the same.
You know, I know you only can see out of one eye right now. So
I can see out of both eyes. I can see very well. So the point is that when he did that number the other night, I think even you knew in your heart of hearts, that's the best player on the planet.
He had an unbelievable game, but I do not think Joel Embiid is better than Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is the best player in the league. Yeah.
They tried to put 2 on him, and he would just pull up.
He ain't putting no 2 on him.
Just pull up.
Skip
13 times he was double
The man's 7'2", 310, 315, and he's got 6'6" Grant Williams who weighs 235.
Yeah. And he had a host of other players trying to come get him, and he would just say, I got this. He's pulling up from 18, 20 feet.
Yeah.
I got this.
Derek White coming late. Marcus Smart coming over there late.
Yeah.
Brogdon coming over there late.
Yeah.
Stop it. And you see Giannis just like, and he's been doing this basically the whole season without Chris Middleton.
Wow, that's impressive.
Chris Middleton's an all-star. No matter what you think about it, he is an all-star.
How can you be the best player when you're not even the closer for your own team? Because Chris Middleton closes for them. He always hits all the big shots.
Chris Middleton's been hurt the most bulk of the season. And who has the best record in the NBA, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. Huh.
Greek beat.
Yeah. Best player is in the city of brotherly shove.
Hey, guess what? And when they come out the East this year, he going to ride Game 7, come up on a Harlem.
Is he? Wow. Really?
Yeah. That's how he going to come to the game on y'all. Then what?
I can't wait till Philly plays Milwaukee.
Y'all won't get that far. Y'all won't get that far.
Who's going to stop us?
Yeah, Celtics.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all won't get that far. So you might as well just get that thought out your head. Whatever you were thinking was going how it was going to end for Philly, it don't end that way.
I've been trying to warn you. I've been trying to tell you for 3 months, and it's about to come to fruition right before your very eyes.
I will give you this. You were right about one thing. Joel Embiid is going to win the MVP.
Yeah, okay.
But that's where it stops.
That's where it stops or starts.
Okay. Okay, you going to learn the hard way.
I expect you two to put some good on these NBA
I mean, look at
players.
LeBron numbers. 29 points, 50% shooting, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Come on, man. And y'all going to talk about Book, Shea Gilgeous. Come on, Kawhi. How the hell is Kawhi? Skip, stop this now. They're going too far. Kawhi, really?
I'll buy that, and they went too far putting Giannis at the top.
No, they didn't put Giannis at the top. They put Jokic at the top.
Oh, that's right. Well, that was wrong.
LeBron played 53 games.
Let's see how it all plays out. All right, guys, we got to move on to the NFL. Do you think there's a team that actually already has a leg up this offseason?
Yep.
Let's discuss when we
Sure
return.
do.
We are just under 3 weeks away from the NFL draft. Many teams have already made a flurry of signings or trades this offseason. That includes the likes of all-pro players like Stephon Gilmore and Jalen Ramsey. They're both changing teams, just to name a few. Shannon, out of the 32, which team do you think has had the best offseason so far?
Honestly, Skip, I really love what the Bears did. I love that the fact that they traded that pick. They showed that they believe in Justin Fields. They get him a true number one receiver in DJ Moore. They signed Tremaine Edmonds. I played his dad. His dad was Farrell. Played with the Dolphins. Eberflus liked to run a cover 2 shell. Linebacker gets deep, covers the middle, protects the middle of the field. He can do that. Nate Davis, they got a protector for Justin Fields. I like the Marcus Walker at defensive end. I like Edwards, the linebacker. I like P.J. Walker as a backup. Played well. Even beat Baker Mayfield out for a job. And I like Robert Tonyan, pair him with Cole Kmet. I love what they did. They're still able to get a good, solid player with the 9th pick because, as I said, they traded the number 1 overall pick to Carolina, and they got a 2nd-round pick this year, a 2024 first-round pick next year, and a 2nd-round pick in 25. I love the moves that the Bears made, and they're going to make some noise in that division. It all depends on how much growth can Justin Fields give me. He give me a little bit of growth. If he can give me a little passing, a little more passing to go with them legs, there he go.
Okay. I do not love what the Bears did because the Bears made the wrongest move of the offseason.
You wanted them to
They had a chance to draft Bryce Young, number 1 overall, and trade Justin Fields. And somebody would have given them something for Justin Fields. I think somebody would give him a first-round pick for Justin Fields.
Do you think they could have got for Justin Fields what they got for that number 1 pick?
No.
Okay.
Could not. But in the big picture, in the long term, they said we're betting on Justin Fields being better than Bryce Young, and they will lose that bet.
Okay.
It will be proven wrong. And I think deep down you think that Bryce Young will be at least a little better than Justin Fields.
Right.
You can argue that to make this work, that Bryce Young would have to be a whole lot better than Justin Fields to make this that wrong. But I think he will be. I'm still not convinced. I love what Justin Fields did with his legs last year because I did not see that coming. I never saw that at Ohio State. He was like Eric Dickerson last year. He was unstoppable running the football. Well, you know and I know you can't win championships that way. You have to be able to throw it some from the pocket. And he has thrown it some from the pocket. And I will give you this. He has not had the weaponry that he now has starting with DJ Moore, and Tunyon will help some in that regard also.
So hopefully Claypool steps up.
Yeah, you can argue. I just say it's a quarterback's game. Give me Bryce Young. I'm sold. If Carolina doesn't take Bryce Young, they made an even wronger move than the Bears did. We'll see how that shakes out pretty soon. But to me, I'm reading this Ringer story, and they talk about the 6 teams who have had the best NFL offseason, and they omitted or neglected to deal with the team that has had by far the best offseason. And that is my Dallas Cowboys. Because they are running away with the offseason because they had 2 glaring weaknesses. Boom and boom. Filled. Solved. Stephon Gilmore, he's still a top 5 corner. You could argue, and just playing with his head and his smarts and his savvy, that he's still the best corner. He's just a playmaker. He made a big play on Mahomes to end the game against Kansas City at Indy last year. We got him. We got him for a song. We got him for a 5th-round pick, and he will fit beautifully opposite the cluer and gambler that is Trevon Diggs. Great 1-2 punch. I love it. I'm solidified now on defense.
But
no, there's no but.
That is a but.
No,
what with the quarterback?
On offense, for another 5th round and a song, we went and got as qualified, as trustable, dependable, a professional deep threat as there is in Brandon Cooks. We didn't have that guy last year. All of a sudden, we got Brandon Cooks. Did you see what he said the other day on the podcast? He said,
my quarterback's terrible
No,
here?
He said how much he loves CD. He said he is a true number 1. He said, I hit him up, and I told him, look, I'm just coming just to help. Like, there's no ego. Brandon Cooks has no ego. He's not going to threaten CD as the true number 1 that he is. So, all of a sudden, glaring need filled.
But I'm not so sure, did anybody, view Brandon Cook as a number 1?
No, I don't view him as number 1. I just think he's a legit deep threat.
But guess what? How many times your quarterback hit somebody deep last year or the year before that?
Okay, that could be a problem. A rising tide lifts all boats, including Dak's. Because all of a sudden, I'm looking at my defense, and wait a second. We re-signed Donovan Wilson? I was sure he was gone. Van Der Esch is back. He's a Pro Bowler.
But
He's back.
That just goes to show you that your players that you think are so valuable are not as valuable to other teams around the league as you think they are.
Maybe they took hometown discount because they wanted to play for a Super Bowl champion in Dallas.
Well, here's the thing, Skip. If I can make $2 million in Dallas, I can make $2 million somewhere else that has state income tax. Well, clearly I'm going to stay in Dallas.
Fair point.
Because that's money I'm going to be able to keep in my pocket.
Yeah.
But let's not pretend like, okay, that's Minkah Fitzpatrick. Let's not pretend that's Fred Warner. Okay, you just not either one of those.
I don't know about Minkah. I'll put. You mean Stephon in Minkah's category?
No, I'm talking about Donovan Wilson.
Oh, I thought you meant.
No, Minkah's a safety.
Okay, all right. Dante Fowler came back. I was thinking surely he'll be gone. We got him back, and guess who came back? Old Mr. Dairy Queen himself, DQ Dan Quinn. He's back.
But nobody wanted him.
Maybe somebody did.
Who?
Maybe Jerry wanted him worse. Who knows how much Jerry is slipping?
Let me see. That's what I want.
There's no cap on paying assistant coaches.
I want to be the DC at the Cowboys, or I want to be a head coach somewhere.
I don't know. Maybe he wants to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's going to look great on your resume, but it's not. You're not really the coach. You're a figurehead. You know that.
Well, I consider him my unofficial head coach right now because he coaches the unit on my team. We will go as far as this defense carries.
Okay.
And I just think that...
Skip, your defense carried you last year.
It did.
Okay, then what did it get you?
We held San Francisco to 19 total points.
What about your offense? How many did you score?
12.
Okay.
All right, we will figure out how to rise above Dak Prescott.
How? You said we're only going to go as far as Michael and the Marauders carry us.
Yeah.
They carried you to a top 5 defense, but what did your offense do?
Well, not enough.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, if my quarterback could just figure out how not to throw it to the other team, I'd have a chance.
They've been watching film. He and Mike McCarthy been watching film all year.
So he's fixed. He's fixed.
They've been watching film all offseason.
And guess who's going to call his plays next year?
Mike McCarthy.
Please drop.
And guess what? Dak gonna be like,
yeah.
You call this bullshit?
But tell me this isn't the best offseason. This is spectacular.
No, Carolina. Hold on. What did the Ringer have?
No, they didn't have Dallas in the top 6.
I bet you my team was up there.
Which team is yours?
The Bears.
They're now your team?
No, I'm just saying. I thought they had the best. I told you that before that even came out.
Okay. Well, they didn't. They had the worst.
No, they didn't.
They didn't take Bryce Young.
No, you did.
Congratulations.
Well, maybe y'all should have got rid of Dak and took Bryce Young.
Well, we don't have that pick. I'll buy that. I told you I've taken Aaron Rodgers straight up in a trade for Dak.
No.
That's how desperate I am.
I mean, but you have to have something somebody want to trade.
That's true.
I don't think anybody tried to trade
you got
for that.
me there, but we've still had the best offseason.
No, you didn't.
Shannon, you mentioned Carolina. I really like what they've done on the offensive side of the ball. They're setting things up for that new quarterback.
Yep.
It'll be fun, guys. Season will be here before we know it. Let's talk a little Tyreek Hill and his future. Is there a chance he really does retire when his contract is up? I need your take when we come back.
And I won't back down.
During a recent radio interview, Tyreek Hill gave a retirement date to his playing career. Tyreek says his goal is to play 10 years in the NFL. Then he plans to, quote, call it quits. He's played 7 seasons so far. His 10th would be 2025. Shannon, you buying this?
That's what he says. I believe it when I see it. Skip, I think the thing is that it's hard for guys to just walk away from the money that they're making now. It's different than Luke Kuechly. Skip Kuechly walked away from the game at 28 years of age, but he started to feel the ramifications and the effects, the impact of concussions. He walked away. As he was a defensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
He was defensive player of the year. Still currently the youngest defensive player of the year in NFL history. And he walked away from the game at the top of his game. 7 Pro Bowls, 7 All-Pros. And he says, I'm done. The impact of what it's causing on me long-term, I'm out.
Because the doctors are saying, you just got to stop.
So, Skip, I get that.
Yep.
No amount of money was, in his eyes, no amount of money was worth what was transpiring and what was going to impact them down the road.
No.
But for Tyreek, if Tyreek says, you know what, guys, I'm going to get 10 in, and, I want to get in this gaming space.
What he wants to do.
I hear what he's saying, but it's just hard for me to see this man going to walk away from $25, $30 million to start a gaming business when he can still start a gaming business and still play NFL football. He says that, I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay. But if he completes this contract, he will have made 72 guaranteed million. That's already,
he'll make more than that if he completes the contract.
If he completes the contract, but already literally in the bank is $72 million. For wide receivers, that's revolutionary because that is generational kind of wealth.
Can I ask you a question, Skip? Tell me the one time in your life you've heard somebody say, man, I got too much money. I've heard people say, I got too many cars, I got too many homes, I got too many pair of shoes, I got too many clothes.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard nobody say, 200 billion, 300 billion. I ain't never heard, man, you know what, man? I got too much money. I don't know what I'm doing. I will stop.
I once made the mistake of saying same thing to Tex Schramm, who started and oversaw the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
And he looked at me and said, nobody has ever had enough money. And he's talking about the Rockefellers.
Yes.
They never have enough money.
Because they try to get more.
Okay, I got it. But it's possible that Tyreek will make so much on this deal that 10 years is 10 years. I don't know his body very well about how much wear and tear he's taken because he has stayed very healthy.
Yes.
Mainly because of the position he plays.
It's hard to get a hit on him when you can't catch him.
You can't catch him. And when you're split out that far, you can stay out of harm's way.
And he does a great job of like seeing the collision about to happen, and he'll get down up under the hit. So I ain't got no problem with him avoiding contact, but it's just hard, Skip, to just walk away from that kind of money.
When I've watched what you have gone through, it's even harder to walk away from the life, the camaraderie, the locker room, the Sunday. I mean, Sunday is, you can't replace Sunday, right?
Yeah. Okay. Hell, Skip, they got punters and kickers making more than what I made. And it was a different game, Skip. It was a different game. You played. Even if you had the slightest injury, you shoot. No matter what, you shot it up and you win play.
Okay.
And these guys ain't playing like that now.
I got it. But if you do have a second career that you are on fire for,
for
he's
sure.
really into gaming, he says he's going to start his own team.
Right.
Well, to your point, you can do that while you're playing football.
Right.
But if he's on fire and that's going to scratch his competitive itch, then you're good to go. But most guys don't have that.
LeBron is worth a billionaire.
Yeah.
And he got production companies. He got all this stuff going. He wants to be. And guess what? He said, I can do all that. I put people in place.
He did.
Y'all do that.
Yeah.
I'm still going to cash the NBA checks.
Okay. I got it.
Tyreek's got over 8,000 career yards, guys. That is a lot of wear and tear.
Yep.
Gentlemen, let's talk about LeBron a little bit. Do you think he's going to go off tonight against the Suns?
Yep.
Let's see your predictions when we come back. Okay, LeBron coming off a game where he scored 30 points in the second half. Tonight, the Lakers host the Suns. Shannon, how many points does LeBron score?
I'm assuming he's going to play, Skip. I believe he's found his rhythm. 30 points in both of the last two games. He played well the entire game, and Utah played well the second half. So I think he's found a great rhythm. And so I'm going to say he goes for 30 plus. I'll say 34, 9 rebounds, 6 assists.
Really?
Yeah.
I was ready to go big 4-0. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden, all bets are off because now it feels like after Durant played 41 minutes, CP3 and Book 38 minutes, I don't think they'll play more than maybe a half. So all of a sudden, LeBron would be tempted not to play maybe in the second half, depending on the score.
Right.
Now that it looks like Sacramento starters won't play, it's going to be an easier night for Golden State to win and stay ahead of the Lakers for the 6th seed. So maybe at some point, LeBron says, I got to start resting up because I'm going to have to play a play-in game.
But he says he feels better when he plays. He doesn't like the rest. He likes to get in the rhythm, get in the groove, and just stay right there. So I think I'm not saying, Skip, he plays 38 minutes like he did in Utah, or he only played 33, 34 minutes. I'm going to say he plays at least 34 minutes, and he has at least 34 points.
Okay, if he plays 34 minutes, I believe he'll score 40 because he is in a rhythm.
He's a good one.
Yep.
And, the way he shot the ball in the second half at the crib, because that's still the crib. It just was decked out in Clippers colors.
We got to go, guys. Great show today. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.